All right. Welcome to class, everyone. Good morning. I am Delia. Welcome to yoga. We are going to do a shorter class today, a full body stretch for when you don't have time to do a full hour-long class, but still want to get a nice full body stretch in and feel good about the rest of your day. So we're going to start seated. Any comfortable seat of your choice. Legs can be crossed gently in front of you. You can even extend them long if that's not comfortable. I always like to sit up on something under the hips because I have some low back issues. So if you also have any low back or hip issues, maybe sitting up on a pillow or a folded towel would help. And then just take a moment when you come into your seat to find any movement that you might need. So maybe rolling the wrists a little bit. I like to find movement before we find stillness, because then it helps you attach to the body, attach to the present moment. So maybe rolling the shoulders a couple of times. And just becoming present here on your mat. Maybe taking a full stretch through the arms. Any little gentle movements that feel good to you. And then when you feel satisfied, then finding some stillness, allowing the eyes to soften or to close. If you're not comfortable closing the eyes today for any reason, it's totally fine. Just finding a point several feet out in front of you on the floor to softly rest your gaze. And then beginning to draw your attention inward. And beginning to take a gentle body scan. Noticing if there are any places that are feeling tight today, or any places where you might be unintentionally clenching the muscles or holding. And see if you can begin to soften those places. So for me, a big one where I hold tension is in the knees, especially in a cross-legged position. They tend to want to come up. So if you're having that problem in the legs, see if you can just release the legs a little bit more to gravity, engaging the core just a little bit to help you sit up nice and tall here without tensing the other muscles in the body. Tagging a little bit of weight into each elbow, letting the shoulders slide down the back. Noticing the position of your head, noticing if the chin is tipped up, if you're creating an artificial curve or exaggerating the curve that's already in the back of your neck. See if you can tip the chin down just slightly, lengthening the back of the neck, long line of the spine. And now beginning to tune into your breath. Noticing if the breath is feeling smooth and even. Maybe it's feeling a little stuck today, a little tight. And doing your best to play a passive observer here, not attaching any particular value or judgment to the way your breath or body feel this morning. And just gently beginning to smooth out the breath if you can, a little bit at a time, beginning to deepen it. And then taking a moment to think about any intention or dedication you might have for your practice. If you are practicing this in the morning, if you're practicing this with a later recording, maybe finding one word that defines how you want the rest of your day to go, an intention that you can carry with you into the rest of your day. And give yourself 3 more deep, full belly breaths here to seal in any intention or dedication if you have one. And then beginning to find a little movement in the fingers and the toes. Maybe rotating the wrists. Maybe nodding the head gently, dropping the chin to the chest, and then looking up. And then allowing the eyes to open if they're still closed. Let's go ahead and take the elbows together in front. If you can't touch your forearms or your elbows together, that's okay. Just take them as close as possible. And we're dropping the elbows so that they're down, touching. Right now, mine are touching my chest. So as close to your body as possible. Press the palms together. And we're going to start to lift the arms in this position. And you're only going to go as far as you can while keeping the forearms touching or close together. So we're going to lift the elbows and then open them and then hug, squeeze the shoulder blades as you squeeze the elbows down. Let's do that 2 more times. Bring the forearms together to touch. Lift only as far as you can keep the arms together and then open them wide and squeeze the elbows down. Let's do 1 more. Together and lift and open wide and squeeze them down. And then let's take the hands behind the hips. If you're sitting up on something and your fingers aren't touching the floor, you may want to move it aside. So that's what I'm going to do. So coming back to your seat, if you moved whatever you were sitting on, take the hands behind your hips with the fingers pointing towards you. So I'm going to stay up on my fingertips here. I'm not putting a lot of pressure into my hands. My elbows are pointing backwards and I'm going to hug my shoulder blades together. So I'm opening the chest, kind of exaggerating that. And then I'm just going to drop the right ear to the right shoulder. Breathing into the left side of the neck, squeezing the elbows towards each other, squeezing the shoulder blades together. And if you'd like, you can stay here, or you can dial the chin down towards that shoulder. Just a different angle in the stretch in the neck. Take 1 more breath. And then slowly lift the head back up to center. Hug the elbows together, hug the shoulder blades. Make sure you're not putting too much weight in the fingers. And we're going to drop the left ear towards the left shoulder. And breathing here. And if you'd like, you can stay here, or you can tilt the chin down towards the chest and the shoulder. Nice, deep, full breaths. Take 1 more. And then slowly bring the head back up to center. Go ahead and release the arms, shake out the hands, maybe roll the wrists a couple of times if you need to. And we're going to take the feet wide on your mat with the knees bent. So I'm taking my hands back behind me, but my hands can point in any direction that's comfortable now. And we're going to start to take some windshield wipers with the feet. I'm sorry, with the knees. Feet are also involved. So your hips might be a little stiff. That's okay. They don't have to drop all the way to the floor. You can also change the angle of the stretch a little bit by lifting the toes and digging the heels into the ground, or vice versa, lifting the heels and keeping the balls of the feet on the ground. So playing with a little bit of movement here. And then the next time that the knees are dropped over to the right, we're going to keep them there. And we're going to move into a twist. So my feet are flexed. I have a little energy in my toes. And I'm going to take my left hand to my right leg. I'm going to sit up nice and tall here. And I'm going to keep this lift in the spine. And I'm just going to try and sit my weight just a little bit back into that left hip. So my spine is still nice and tall. I'm not leaning back. I'm shifting the weight only in my hips. Breathing here. If this is too intense in the hip, you can come out of it a little bit. Give it one more deep, deep breath. And then slowly unwind, come back to center. Let's drop the knees over to the left now. Make any adjustments you need on the way there. Again, I'm going to have a little bit of brightness in my feet, so my feet are flexed. My right hand's going to come to my left leg. I'm going to sit up nice and tall. And then I'm going to keep my spine straight, not leaning back. And I'm going to shift the weight only in my hips. So it's so subtle, you may not even see my movement on the camera. But you should feel the intensification of that stretch in that hip. So breathing wherever you are. I guess intensifying would have been the better word there, not intensification. I'm not sure that's a word. Take one more breath. And then slowly unwind, come back to center. And we're going to come into table. So take your time getting there. If you need to pad the knees or the wrists, please do. Moving any unnecessary props aside, setting up for your table. So knees are right under the hips. Wrists can be under the shoulders. They can be a little bit in front if you want less pressure in the wrists. Spreading the fingers nice and wide. Pressing the tops of the toes down into the mat. And then let's sink the hips back a little bit towards the heels. Your hips don't have to come all the way down. We're going to do a rolling cat-cow. So inhale, rolling forward. Arms don't have to touch the mat, but they can. Rolling up into your cow, dropping the belly. Exhale, moving into your cat, and then sitting the hips back again. So moving with your own breath. If this is an uncomfortable cat-cow for you today, you can try any other version that feels better. Still keeping that connection with the knuckles pressing into the mat, with your toes pressing down. Let's do one more round. And after this last round, just sitting the hips back, finding your child's pose. If puppy posture is more comfortable with the hips lifted, you can find that as well. Surrendering the front body into your mat. Take one more breath. And if it's comfortable for you, go ahead and walk both hands over to the right side of your mat. Maybe the left hand comes on top of the right hand. Breathing into the left side of the rib cage here. And then walk the hands through center over to the left. Maybe the right palm comes on top, maybe not. Letting the head and shoulders relax. And then walk the hands back to center. Press back up to table. And let's go ahead and thread the needle from here. So we're going to keep our left hand planted. We're going to inhale, right fingertips are going to reach. And exhale, we're going to dip that right hand under, releasing onto the right side of the head. If the floor feels far away here, you can use a block under the head or a pillow. And I invite you to explore the shape exactly as you land. So if you normally go into a more extended version of this with the leg out and the arm out, you can do that as well. But just notice when you first land how you're feeling. See if you can sit the hips back a little. Maybe using that left hand by the face to try and open the chest a little bit more. Breathing into the back of that right shoulder blade, into the left side body. Give it one more breath here. And then slowly start to unwind, come back to table. Right hand's gonna stay planted this time. Inhale, left fingertips reach. And exhale, thread the needle on that side. Left arm under the right. And again, you can always go into a more extended, more active version of this pose, but I invite you to explore everything as you first land before moving into another version. So sitting the hips back, maybe using that right hand on the mat to open the chest a little bit more. See if you can soften and relax the neck. Take one more deep breath wherever you are. And then drawing that right hand back if it was extended, using it to help you press back to table. We're going to curl the toes under. Wait a minute. Grab a block first before we go up to down dog. We will definitely want a block. So grab one or a book or a box, whatever you have. Place it near the top of your mat, just within reach. And then we're heading to down dog. So curling the toes under, lifting the hips up and back. Making any adjustments here that you need, maybe shortening your stance, taking the hands closer to the feet, maybe bending the knees one at a time, maybe shifting the hips side to side. And neither of your legs ever has to straighten in down dog. It's really more important to press the tailbone up, to press the chest back towards the legs. So if you need to do this with your knees bent generously, please do. Take one more breath in movement, turn stillness, and down dog. And then look up at your hands. Take a slow walk or just step up to meet the hands. Maybe widen the feet a little bit. Hang over in your ragdoll fold. Maybe clasp opposite elbows and find a little sway. See if you can even the weight out between your heels and the balls of your feet. Knees are generously bent. Letting the head and neck just hang. And then release the arms if they were clasped. Go ahead and grab your block and take it to the center of your mat so you're looking straight down at it. And you can use the block on any height. We're going to widen the feet even more, so feet are going out to the edges of the mat. And then we're going to take that left hand to the block. We're going to bend our left knee and inhale, send the right fingertips up. So check in with your neck, make sure your head's not dropping down too low or squeezing up to the shoulder. And then slowly release. Right hand comes onto the block. Right knee bends. Inhale, left fingertips reach. And then slowly release. Let's take the hands to the thighs, and we're going to press the hands into the legs, bend the knees, press through the feet as you start to roll up. Taking your time. And when you get there, go ahead and shake it out a little bit. You can move your block aside. All right. Grab water if you need it at any time. So we're going to come into our mountain pose now. So feet are about hip distance apart. And we're going to inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, take the hands together down to the heart. 2 more times. Inhale to reach. And exhale, hands together at the heart. Last time. Inhale, reach, really press through the feet. And exhale, hands together at the heart. We're going to move a little bit further into this sun salutation. So inhale to reach the arms up. And exhale, take the hands down the center line as you fold. Inhale, halfway lift, hands come somewhere on the legs for support. Exhale, let it go. We're going to bend our knees enough to place the fingers on the mat. And we're going to step the right foot back and then lower that knee. So go ahead and take some time if you need to pad the knee. We're coming up, so you shouldn't need blocks here, but if it's more comfortable, you're welcome to use them. Back toes can be curled under, or they can just be flat on the mat. So take a moment to adjust here. Notice if you're feeling stable here. Like I said, pad the knee if you need to. Imagine drawing that left hip back to keep the hips straight on with your mat. And then I'm just going to try and tuck my tailbone under as much as I can on that right side. So immediately I start to feel that in the front of the right leg. So even without sinking into the lunge, I'm really feeling that stretch in the front of the hip there. So hands can come to the thigh if that's comfortable. Tucking that tailbone, finding a lift in the spine, lift in the chest. Take one more breath here. And then you can stay right here if you'd like. Or you can take the right hand to the outside of the left thigh now. Maybe the left hand comes to the left hip. So I'm twisting a little bit. And if you'd like the full extension, you can send those. So still pressing that glute under on the right side. Pressing that hip. One more breath. And slowly release, very slowly, come back. I'm going to release my hands to the mat. And I'm going to scoot my front foot a little bit further out in front of me to give me room. If you need blocks in this fold, please go ahead and use them. I'm going to keep my toes flat on the mat. And I'm going to inhale to lengthen my spine. And exhale, just tuck the chin, maybe find a little fold over that leg. My knee still has a bend in it. And I'm breathing into the leg. Keeping the foot flat on the mat is going to help me stretch the front of the leg, the front of the ankle and shin. And maybe after a couple of breaths here, maybe you want to lift the foot then and just dig into the heel. That's going to stretch more into the hamstring. And again, if the floor is too far away, you can use blocks under the hands here. Breathing, deep, deep breaths into the back of the leg. Take one more. And then nice and slow, release that foot to the floor. Come back into your low lunge. I'm going to curl my back toes under. I'm going to lift my knee and take as many steps as I need to get that right foot back forward. And come into my forward fold. So bend the knees here, release the spine. Inhale, hands come to the legs, belly button draws in, halfway lift. Exhale, soften and fold. Inhale, hands can come to the legs. You can roll up, or you can press through the feet and reach the hands all the way up. And exhale, hands together at the heart. Let's do the other side. Inhale to reach. Exhale, hands together. Take it down. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen. Exhale, let it go. I'm going to bend the knees, plant the hands. This time I'm going to step my left foot back and release the knee to the mat. Take your time setting up here. Come out of it if you need any props that you don't have, if you need to pad that knee. We're moving really slow. So make any adjustments to the feet that you need. Toes can stay tucked, or they can release. Gently pull that right hip back so that your hips are squared. And then again, here, I'm just going to take my hands to the top of my right thigh. And I'm going to hug that glute under on the left side. So I'm really feeling that. Your hips are going to be different on each side. My hips are always notoriously tight. So I'm definitely feeling this without even dropping into any sort of lunge. So lifting out of the waist. Take one more breath here. Really tuck that glute. And then maybe stay here, or maybe find your twist. So taking the left hand around the outside of the right thigh. Maybe your right hand comes to the right hip. Maybe you just stay here. I'm still tucking that left glute under. If you want more expansion in the chest, sending the right fingertips back. Give it one more breath wherever you are. And then slowly come back. We're going to move into our runner's lunge, our half splits. So I'm going to untuck my back toes for this. I'm going to take my hands to the mat. I'm going to scooch my right foot forward a few inches. And I'm going to keep my foot on the floor for now. So my foot is flat, that right foot. Inhale to lengthen the spine. Exhale, I'm going to find a fold over that leg, even if it's just a tuck of my chin. So right knee can absolutely stay bent. You can use blocks under the hands if that is more comfortable to bring the floor up to you. Breathing into the front of that right leg. Maybe you just want to stay here, or maybe you want to lift the right toes off the mat now, digging into the heel, flexing the foot, getting that stretch more into the hamstring. And if you want to lengthen the spine again and find another fold, you can. My knee is staying bent. You may not be able to see it as much on the video, but please keep a bend in your knee, especially if you're feeling any pain or pinching. Take one more breath wherever you are. And then nice and slow, start to rebend through that right knee again. And this time I'm just going to take my hand around and I'm going to step my right knee back to table. And I'm going to find child's pose again. And this time I'm going to take a wide-legged child's pose, an extended child's pose. So my big toes are going to touch. My knees are as wide as my yoga mat. I'm going to sink my hips back and then hands forward, lengthening the spine as I release my forehead down. Using a block or a bolster, a pillow under the forehead can be nice here. Kind of helps you release into the mat. You can wag your tail a little bit here. Maybe rock the forehead a little side to side. Give it one more deep, deep, full breath wherever you are. And then nice and slow, start to walk the hands back. pressing yourself back and up. And we're going to come through to a seat with our legs out in front of us. So if you want to use a strap, go ahead and grab it. And we're going to need a block for our second pose. So make sure you have those props nearby. Oops. All right, so I'm going to extend my legs out in front of me. And then I'm just going to take a couple of windshield wipers with them. So moving my toes, my legs side to side here. And I'm also going to onto one hand and move the fleshier sides of my buttocks and thighs apart so that my sit bones are pressing right down into the mat. So we're gonna take a forward fold here, and I want to get the stretch in the back of my legs. So I'm going to keep my legs straight. If you want to stretch the low back more, go ahead and bend your knees. You can bend them a lot and press the heels in. So my feet are going to stay flexed. What I don't want to do here is round in my back. So I'm rounding and bending in the legs instead. And it doesn't really matter how far down you come towards your legs at all. So if you have a strap, go ahead and grab it. We're going to take it around the bottoms of the feet. And just know you can always make any adjustments that you need to here. You never have to come into a pose and hold it. So strap around the feet. Inhale to lengthen the spine. And exhale, I'm going to start to draw my chest towards my thighs. And I'm only going as far as I can while keeping my back straight, especially the low back. So I'm going to walk my hands a little bit further. You may be able to bend a little bit more if you have the knees bent. But right now we're just focusing on keeping that spine nice and straight. Finding a gentle tuck of the chin, breathing wherever you are. And as you can see, I haven't folded very far at all. So never feel like you have to press your chest against your thighs. You're still getting a really excellent stretch in the legs and the back body. Take one more breath. And then hug the belly button towards the spine before you even start to move, and start to roll up from that center core. And we're going to set the strap aside. And now I'm going to bend my knees, and I'm going to take the bottoms of my feet together. So coming into cobbler's pose or butterfly. And I'm actually going to slide my feet a little bit further away from me today. So I'm making more of a diamond shape. And I'm going to grab my block. You can take the block on any height. And I'm going to put it on my feet. So right at the point where my feet meet. I'm going to sit up nice and tall. Inhale. And as you exhale, I'm going to start to roll forward. And here I am going to allow my back to round. So I'm going to bring my forehead down to the block. And I'm just going to relax. Your hands can come to your feet. They can be out in front of you. And again, block can be on any height. You can even use 2 blocks here. If this isn't comfortable for you, if your head is coming nowhere near your block, even on the highest setting, just go ahead and fold the chin towards the chest. So we're just trying to round the back here. Having the head supported helps the body to release more, signals it to relax. Seeing if you can soften the face, soften the neck, the jaw. Take 2 more breaths into the back body, nice and full. And then slowly use your hands on the mat. Engage the core, belly button to spine. Start to walk yourself back up. And you can go ahead and move the block aside. We're going to come onto our backs. So take your time. You won't need any props down there unless you want any for Shavasana. So I'm going to close my knees. And if you do want some for Shavasana, take your time. Go ahead and gather them. So coming down onto your back whenever you're ready. And then maybe hugging the knees into the chest. Maybe rocking a little side to side. Maybe taking the knees in a nice slow circle. First one way, and then the other. And then go ahead and release the left foot to the mat. We're going to cross that right ankle over the left thigh, and the right knee is going out to the side. So we're going to take our reclined pigeon from here. Maybe just staying here, maybe gently pressing that right hand into the right thigh. If you want to thread the needle here, go ahead. You can always use a strap to hold on behind the thigh if that feels more comfortable, or you can just use your hands. If the feet are lifted here, go ahead and flex that left foot as well. Right foot should be flexed either way. You can rock a little here, side to side, very tiny rocks. And go ahead and take a deep, deep breath in. And on your exhale, soften the shoulders, soften the neck, the face. Take this stretch out of the upper body as much as possible. Start to breathe into that right hip. Seeing if you can soften and release on the exhale. If you'd like, you can also take a hamstring stretch by straightening that left leg. You can even point and flex the left toes. If you want to keep it more in the hip, you can just keep that left knee bent. Give it one more deep, full breath wherever you are. And then rebend the left knee if the leg was extended. Go ahead and release the hands or the strap. Release that left foot to the mat. And we're going to hug the right knee into the chest and extend that left leg long. So inhale, hug that right knee in, and exhale, start to take it across the body over to the left. I'm going to extend my right arm out to the side, only going as far as feels comfortable for you. I'm still holding on to that left leg with to the right leg with my left hand. And if you want, you can turn the chin to the right, only if that feels comfortable on the neck. Breathing into the right hip, into the right side body. Give it one more deep, deep, full breath. And then slowly coming back to center, releasing that right foot to the mat. Go ahead and rebend the left knee. Take your feet as wide as your yoga mat and do some windshield wipers with the knees. And we'll move into the other side. So go ahead and cross the left ankle over the right thigh. Maybe just staying here. Flexing that left foot, maybe gently pressing the left thigh out with that left hand. If you want to thread your needle, go ahead. Using a strap or your hands to hold on to that right thigh. Maybe rocking a little side to side here in the hips. Noticing if your tailbone is lifting too much, see if you can press it down. Taking a big, deep, full breath. On the exhale, softening the shoulders, softening the arms, the face, the neck. Breathing into that left hip. Seeing if you can soften and release anything you're holding on to there with every exhale. If you want that hamstring stretch, you can go ahead and extend the right leg, maybe pointing and flexing. It's going to take the stretch a little bit out of the hip. So maybe keeping that leg bent if you want it to stay in that left hip. Wherever you are, give it one more deep, full breath. And then releasing the hands or the strap, rebending the right knee if it was extended, releasing the right foot to the mat. We're going to uncross the left leg, hug that left knee in as you extend the right leg long. Inhale here. Exhale is going to take us into our twist, our last pose of the practice. So take that left knee over to the right. Left hip is lifting. Left arm can go out to the side, or you can take a cactus arm with the elbow bent. If it feels okay for the neck, you can turn your chin to the left just a little. Breathing into that left hip, into the left side body. Give it one more deep, deep breath here. And then take the head back to center if it was turned. Engage the core, slowly draw the left knee back up to center. Release that left foot to the mat. You can take windshield wipers one more time. You can take a full body stretch if it's calling you. Finding any last little movements that you might need before heading into your Shavasana. Finding any comfortable pose for your last resting pose of the practice. Maybe a bolster under the knees or a pillow under your head. Hands can come to the belly or they can be down by the sides with the palms face up. Allowing the eyes to soften or close when you've found your final pose of your practice. And let's all take a deep, deep breath in. And a long sigh out. Deep, deep, full breath in through the nose. Long letting go, sigh out. One more time. Deep, deep breath in. Open the mouth, sigh it out. And gradually allowing the breath to return to its natural rhythm. Allowing the body to be heavy on the mat. Feeling any last tension or holding or clenching in the body beginning to drain away. Softening the muscles of the face, let your jaw go. Broaden the forehead and the space between the eyebrows. And shoulders are melting into your mat, opening the chest and belly. Back body is supported and soft. Hips are heavy, legs and arms are relaxed. Maybe giving your fingers and toes a little wiggle, and then allowing them to find stillness and to soften. And taking a few quiet moments here to absorb your practice and releasing anything that's no longer serving you. And slowly beginning to bring your attention back into your body, back to the rhythm of your breath. And beginning to deepen the breath, drawing it all the way down into the belly. And finding any movement that feels good in the fingers and toes, maybe rotating the wrists and ankles. Maybe gently turning the head from side to side. When you're ready, bending the knees, drawing them into the chest, or maybe taking one last full body stretch. Moving to one side whenever you're ready, using the top arm to gently press yourself back up. Taking your time to come back into a comfortable seat of your choice. Sitting up nice and tall when you arrive. And letting the knees soften as the spine grows longer. Noticing how you're feeling at the end of your practice. If it's comfortable, taking the hands together at the heart, sealing in your time on the mat today, taking anything that served you off the mat into the rest of your day and week to come. And thank you so much for joining me. Namaste.